I know that we've got more people logging in, but I want to go ahead and get us started right on time. So I think it's turning 6 right now. Can give me a thumbs up. I see a few faces. Yes, you can hear me? Well, talking in my trusty headphone mic, so I want to make sure that everybody can hear me well. I want to say good evening, everybody. I am Lisa Boyd, the proud principal of Oakbrook Elementary School, celebrating our 50th anniversary today. And it's my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to this 50th anniversary celebration. Um, I know that tonight is going to be a blast from the past. We're going to have some testimonials. We're going to take time to reminisce through the eyes of some people who have some really fond memories of Oakbrook Elementary School. We're going to hear from staff voices. We're going to see some pictures that have give us a little bit about the history over the years, things that have changed, things that have stayed the same. I have the wonderful pleasure to introduce some special guests this evening that are going to bring words of greetings to us, to include our superintendent, our very own superintendent, Ron Banner, who's here to talk to us. He's been with the Clover Park School District not quite 50 years, but since 2003, and you can hear him talk to us each week about how much better we are together. And so hopefully tonight, with all of the testimonials and things that you will hear, you will be able to see that in action, how much better we have been over the years together. You're going to be hearing words of greetings also from two of our illustrious board members, Alyssa Anderson Pearson and Carol Jacobs. They are longstanding community members in the Lakewood community as well, raising their own children here in the Clover Park School District and living in Lakewood for many years. So we are excited to have them bringing words of greetings. And I'm not going to talk long. I'm going to turn it right over to our superintendent, Ron Banner.
Well, thank you, Principal Boyd. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the invitation to be here to just share a few words this evening. While I remember back when I was the principal at Mann Middle School and we had our 50-year celebration, and that experience, that was 2009, and that experience for me allowed me to do some investigating and looking at the history of our school. And it was just amazing to talk to people. And you know, we were fortunate enough at that time to be able to do this in person. And we had old principals and old staff members and paras and teachers coming in, and we had tours, and just to pick their brains about the school way back when, and to see old pictures of the school. So it was just an amazing thing that you guys are doing this evening to celebrate and honor. You know, I think about it right now, 50 years. I think I was 2 years old when Oakbrook was inaugurated. So just an awesome thing here. Mr. Selberg and the rest of the Oakbrook staff, students, families, and community, thank you for taking part, for being together, for being better together. Truly appreciated the intro song. I don't know who picked it, but it caused me to smile a little bit. Just because I truly do believe that we as a district are better together. And when you're celebrating 50 years, you didn't get here on any individual effort. You got here on 50 years of being better together. So just really do appreciate the invitation, the opportunity to just say hello, to address the community, to just say hello. We know we're going through tough times. And again, better together. And I could just tell by the energy, I never have to look for a smile when I'm in a room with Lisa Boyd. She's always positive, and I know that Oakbrook staff and community sense that as well. So that being said, I will jump off the soapbox and pass it back to you, Principal Boyd. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. We have heard some wonderful stories, and you'll hear some wonderful stories tonight. I want to show off our shirts. I don't usually wear t-shirts when I'm addressing, you know, family and trying to be a little bit formal, but this year and for this celebration, we all are wearing our shirts. Every staff member today is feeling a sense of pride about our 50 years. And we are so excited to keep the ball rolling. And we're going to bring some more words of greeting. We have our board member, Anderson Pearson, Director Pearson, Anderson Pearson, and she is a lifelong Lakewood resident. She's raised her own family, as I mentioned, right here in Lakewood. And I'm happy to introduce her to you as she brings some words of greeting for our 50th anniversary.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I was not born when Oakbrook was built. However, I will say I'm very thankful for Google Maps, because when I was young, all I remember is my mom said, anytime I had a friend in Oakbrook, she's like, every street is Onyx and I can't find it with MapQuest. So I'm so thankful that those days are long gone with Google Maps. So I definitely frequent Oakbrook more often than I used to. Well, I'm so excited to be here today, celebrating the 50th anniversary. I also want to thank everyone who made this possible, especially you, Mr. Selberg, and the amazing community relations team and Principal Boyd, of course. So I too wish we were celebrating in person. 50 years, it just doesn't seem right to be celebrating virtually, but here we are, and I know we're making the best of it. I'm sure when we get back together, the celebration will continue. So 50 wonderful years would not be possible without our hardworking staff, our students, and of course, our community members. Thank you for creating a community school that many say feels like family. Students, or I guess our students, we should always be proud of them, and they've taken part in many community events over the years, including food drives to help those experiencing food insecurity, and ASB community connection events that encourages every class to support community service projects. I, of course, also want to thank our parents who've been very active at Oakbrook. They've made such a positive impact on our students. They've tutored students, hosted countless events, fundraisers, helped in the classrooms, and so much more. We couldn't, of course, do it without them. I think this past year has actually brought us even closer as a community. Teachers and staff have had to get creative on how to connect to their students in the community. Teachers were asked to do the nearly impossible. They had to teach virtually with no notice, hardly. A couple of days notice, their whole world changed, and they have done a great job, and they've had to connect to every one of their students. So I know you're looking forward to the day students are back 100% of the time, but I'm so glad that at least we're in a hybrid learning model now. And of course, the students, they've had to learn in an unconventional. They've had to stay engaged in classroom learning, connect to their classmates virtually. That's no easy task. And I know as we move forward, our teachers, staff, parents, and community will continue to support them in their journey. And of course, our parents, they also were asked to do the nearly impossible, have a flexible schedule while maintaining most likely their job and teaching their kids virtually. So thank you for helping us get through the most difficult year, and we're looking forward to brighter days ahead. And in tough times, we have to continue to stick together. It's really a team effort, and the Oakbrook community is an amazing team. So congratulations again on here's to 50 years and many more. And I can't wait to visit students and staff on campus when it's safe to do so. So I'll turn it back to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Director Pearson. Thank you for those wonderful words. I am so excited. We have Director Carol Jacobs, who's been a long-standing member of our community, her sixth four-year term on the Clover Park School District Board. She has lived here for years. I've worked with her when I first became a principal on the Closing the Achievement Gap Committee, and got to know her as an advocate for children and families. And she and her husband have lived here for, 39 years, something like that, 40 years. And she has raised all her children through the Clover Park School District. So we are so excited to have her here with us tonight and bringing us words of greetings as well. Thank you, Director Jacobs.
Thank you, Principal Lisa Boyd. I've been here a few more, actually this June will be our 41st year that we moved into Oakbrook, and we've stayed in Oakbrook because Oakbrook is a community of family and friends and relationships. I want to explain, first of all, we don't usually tag team board members and have people listen to many of us, but Oakbrook is my kids' school. Oakbrook is where the education for my children started. And I remember in 1986 when my oldest daughter started there as a kindergartner. And all three of them went K6 and then K5. And I just want to say congratulations to Oakbrook for 50 years of successfully educating these kids who attend there. But Oakbrook is much more than that. There are so many success stories and fun stories. And if this later on, if you want some really funny stories, I may have some. Schools in Oakbrook. Oakbrook is a school that quite frankly is the hub of our community. Oakbrook School is the anchor, and it always has been. It is a community that people look to. And when you drive around Oakbrook, you know, when we were doing a levy, the families who have still stayed here, and those families still support that school. Oakbrook is a school that created and still creates lasting relationships. Collaboration has always been a part of the Oakbrook Elementary tradition. To that note, I know for a fact that all three of my kids still have close relationships with the kids that they went to school with there at Oakbrook Elementary. So Oakbrook is a school that's also steeped in tradition. It was created by lifelong learners, by a caring, dedicated, devoted staff. In fact, I want to put a shout out to Ted Henderson, who just was honored for his 30+ years at Oakbrook Elementary. So he's just one of the many dedicated teachers that have served our children. Oakbrook is a school that has always had partnerships with parents and in our community, and they really have made and are still making a difference to every child who walks through those doors. Some things have changed, some things haven't. I remember when children who went to Oakbrook learned about the space program through the modules. They were called Gemini. They were called the Apollos. That was part of the fee. Part of the things that haven't changed, there still are no walls and we still talk about them. But Oakbrook is a school that we overcome, we survive, and we power on, and these kids do an incredible job. I did let my children know that this was going on tonight. And Michael said, "You're going to sing the song, aren't you?" And I'm going to share with you that I'm not going to, because I'm not going to. You all don't deserve that. But children who attend Oakbrook Elementary, they soar, because once an Oakbrook Eagle, always an Oakbrook Eagle. Thank you very much for Oakbrook. I remember when we had our 25th anniversary and I was there, had the opportunity to be there. Thank you very much to the staff who put this together, because 50 years is an accomplishment. And instead of saying we can't do it because, you guys found a way to do it because it needed to be done. And quite frankly, that's what Oakbrook does. We still have our great field days. Oakbrook was the first school that I know of that had an elementary school yearbook. They started their Harvest Carnival. Well, that was about 1987, because I believe I got roped into that one. It's still going on today. And that's what Oakbrook is. It's steeped in tradition. The kids can still tell you where they sat in a classroom. I'm going to finish by, like many kids, my kids have now got children of their own and they don't live right here. But their children know that's their mommy's school. That's their daddy's school. That's what Oakbrook does. And that's what Oakbrook is. So Lisa, I'm so glad that you're the helm there. And Dennis, thank you so much for helping, making sure this happened. Now, I don't have a t-shirt. I didn't know they were available. I certainly would. I've got some people that might be interested in having some. So will those be available to community members who also want to show their pride in Oakbrook's 50th year? Just a thought. Just a thought. Thank you very much. Keep it up. We love Oakbrook. Once an eagle, always an eagle.
Thank you, Director Jacobs. You brought some tears to my eyes as you were talking. I've only been here 2 years, but you know, this is my second year here, but I'll tell you what, I already feel like there's a family here. They told me that when I was coming.
Yeah.
And I didn't even understand the depth of it until being here for a few months. And wow, you cannot break the bonds that are growing here. And I have grown over the years here. And I hope that you'll see that as we present tonight. I'm going to turn it over. I'm very thankful to my team, my anniversary celebration team led by Dennis. And of course, with the help of our community relations department and our publication department. But Dennis is going to take over and kind of be the driver. I do want you to see behind us, one of the things, I have some games. One of the things we want to say is we had an anonymous donor give us some games for the trivia questions that are going to come up at the end. We're going to have you chime in some answers in the chat just for fun, and your email address so that we can get your games to you as you win them this evening. It's really all about fun and learning as much as you can about Oakbrook and knowing some of the steep traditions and the rich history of Oakbrook this evening. So Dennis, I'm going to turn it over to you and mute myself. But you unmute.
I did, but I double clicked. I told you, I'm already very nervous. Okay, so thank you guys all for coming. We really appreciate Miss Jacobs and Mr. Banner. And I just met Miss Pearson. Is that what it was? Hi, just met her. I'm very excited that you guys came to join us to go through this video. I really want to thank Ben Miller and Leanna Albrecht, because if without them, this bad boy would not be happening. They really were an incredible team to work with. What we did is we just went through, we have a ton of old scrapbooks sitting at Oakbrook, and they were just piled up in what I will give you a hint was called the Tranquility Base back in 1971. That means the library's office. And so there was just piles and piles and piles of scrapbooks. And I ran into the one that was for 1971. And we found these first couple pictures that you're all going to see. So as I'm going to go through some of these, I will be talking sometimes, and then there'll be videos of other people talking. So hopefully I share this right. And Leanna and I practiced. So if it doesn't go well, we tried. All right, I'm going to share. Remember to share with my sound. Good. Click the right buttons. All right, so hopefully you see this screen. If you don't, someone tell me soon. All right, let's hope you do. Here we go. The wonders of technology. Come on.
Carol, are you sure you don't want to sing your song while we're waiting?
Okay, here it is. This is Oakbrook, then and now. Here we go. This was from the very first dedication of Oakbrook Elementary. If you're coming down the hill from, let's say, Oakbrook Children's Center,
Right.
you'd be, Okay. You would see that this is the view that you would see of Oakbrook as you're coming in. My favorite part of this whole picture is these cars that are over here on the left, and a VW bug. These were our first board of directors, the president, vice president, and some members for the Clover Park School District. And our first principal, Kenneth, I'm gonna make a mistake, Husfluin. I'm sorry. And here's some more pictures. These circles are still here today. The kids still run and jump on them. Now, this is a picture of the original floor plan of each of the modules. As Carol was saying, there was the Apollo module, Saturn, Mercury, and Gemini. If you look over here where it says mission control, that is where our good buddy Panita Baumheckel works. And so she's right here, and over here in this conference room right here, that is where Miss Boyd works. The staff room is still in the same spot. The neat thing about Oakbrook is we have a court right in the middle. Oops. Oh man, I went, oh, good night. Good night. Okay, well, anyways, how do I go backwards? Anybody? No.
The left arrow.
I tried the left arrow. It didn't go back. Wait, here it goes. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Leanna. See, she's still here to help me every second of this time too. Okay, so here we are, and I was showing you that this was where Miss Boyd's room is. The staff room is still in the same spot. Woo woo. As I was saying, is this open courtroom. We're one of the few schools that has an open court in the middle of our building. It's pretty darn cool, especially on a nice sunny day. If you take a look up at the upper left and the upper right, those were band rooms. Now we have our guidance counselor is over here in the orchestra pit. And over here in the band room, that's where Miss Moore hangs out. And anyways, take a look at those modules because there's gonna be a question on it in a minute. What's the question for? Well, here it is. What were the school's first modules called? Put your answer in the chat with your student's name and you can win a prize. I'll give you a minute. Does anybody see anything in the chat? No.
Yep. We do.
We do.
We have.
Did somebody get it right? Let's see what the answers were.
Joshua said Apollo, Saturn, Mercury, and Gemini.
Yay, Joshua. Way to go, buddy. Okay. One thing that is irritating me is that I can't see things. Why can't I see other things? That's okay. Just keep going. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay. Thank you, Joshua. Way to go, buddy. You are the first winner today. There's 4 more opportunities to play. Oh, this is our star of our show, Miss Truitt. Miss Truitt not only teaches at Oakbrook Elementary, but she also was a student here. Let's tell us about it, will you, Miss Truitt? Maybe.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Truitt, and I'm excited to help celebrate the 50th anniversary of Oakbrook Elementary. I was a student at Oakbrook from 1975 to 1977, which for me was 5th and 6th grade. Had a great time playing outside, loved the Eagle's Nest, loved the merry-go-round, loved the conduit tubes, loved everything that we could run around and play with. I loved our covered play area, and I loved that the bathrooms were attached so we didn't have to go back in the building. Our learning was very self-paced, so we were able to kind of work through the SRA libraries, read our stories, answer our questions, and move on. Our spelling tests were the same way. You would get the new list, you would practice. As soon as you were ready, you would take the test, and then you would move on to the next list. I loved our math because we did MUMS math, which meant each teacher taught different concepts. And so if you were in 5th grade, you might be working with a 6th grade teacher, you might be working with a 2nd grade teacher, but we got to meet all of the teachers, which was super exciting. The programs, the concerts, the plays, just amazing experiences all the way around as a student. As a teacher, I have so enjoyed being here. It's such a family. Not having walls means that you get to meet and listen to your colleagues and really understand how gifted they are at teaching. And you get to learn things from how they do their classroom management, how they deliver their instruction. And I love that it just is such a great group of people to work with. I also adore that this is a neighborhood school and that we definitely all are from this neighborhood.
Thank you, Miss Truitt. I really appreciate you doing that. You know, the neat thing about that is that Miss Truitt went to this school, and she's right about it being a neighborhood school. All the kids, they keep coming back. So it's really kind of cool. Here's our next question. What was the original name of Mr. Selberg's library's Eagle's Nest? What was the original name for the Eagle's Nest? If you know, put your name in chat and tell me the answer. Ooh, I don't know who OA is, but do they have a children? Do they have a children? I don't know. Nicole, I don't know who Nicole is either. She didn't write her student's name. That was a good guess, Mr. Banner. But the answer is, and it was by, I saw OA was the first one to do it. And whoever OA is, oh no, Tom. Tom beat OA. And I don't know who Tom is either. But thank you, Tom. Thank you, OA. If you have a student here at school, they could win a prize. If not, thank you for knowing the answer. Okay, what was that? Here it is. It was called the crater. It went along with the space theme and the moon. And the crater was what we now call the Eagle's Nest. I know it's not really the Eagle's Nest, it's a crater. I'm sorry. But we're the Eagles and we need a nest. And we don't have your original nest. That's a question for later. Here's our lifelong member of Oakbrook Elementary. Now, this is Ted Henderson. And I'm going to read it to you, I guess, because he's not here to read it for us. It says he began his school career at Oakbrook in Mrs. Leroy's kindergarten class, the first year the school opened. So he was here at 70-71. Being an open concept school in which the kids could work at their own pace, it helped him complete 1st and 2nd grade the same year at his next school in Olympia. Oh, he got to skip a grade. He returned to Oakbrook for a part of his 4th grade classroom in Mrs. Weaver's class. When he was hired to teach at Oakbrook in 1989, he had the chance to team teach with Mrs. Weaver. How cool is that? Look how young he looks in that picture. As he finished up at UPS in Tacoma, he graduated in 88. He began to substitute until January of 89, where he subbed every day that year. 35 schools in 3 districts, but his favorite was always Oakbrook. By the end of the year, he was observed by Oakbrook principal Lois Ping. and she offered him the 4th grade job. And well, you know what? He hasn't left since. And here he is. Guess who that is? I know it says Principal Ping, but that's really his mom, I think. I'm pretty sure that was his mommy. And he taught when his mom was still here. That is so cool. And then not only did he teach with his mom, he actually taught with his future wife. So he's been here a long time, boys and girls. 32 years of teaching and 3 years of school. So I just really want to thank Mr. Henderson, Hendu, Teddy B. I want to thank him for giving me all the information he did. He's definitely the historian of Oakbrook. And, you know, I've just really been proud to, you know, be working with him, because if there's one thing about Ted is he knows the kids and he knows every single one of them. So he's a good guy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play on this little thing right here, and you'll notice kindergarten kids from 1970-71 all the way through 2000. And I'm sorry because I couldn't get the last picture of 2021 in, my fault. But you'll get plenty of kindergartners over the years. My favorite part is 1974-75 because my wife's there. My wife went to kindergarten through 6th grade at Oakbrook Elementary. And then my children went to Oakbrook Elementary. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to press this video and stop talking for a bit.
Those outfits are back in style. Never mind. I did get it in. Look at me. Thank you, Leanna. You're amazing.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Oakbrook Through the Years is coming up. This was our very first Oakbrook PTA. Love the hairdos. And guess who was our very first president? Well, it says right here, Henry Schatz. There was the Schatz Fund for years and years. I don't know if it's still around, but he used to give money out to teachers that did good things. I believe I never received any of those. I didn't try. That's not his fault. Current PTA members. All right. I want to thank Miss Lynch and Miss Miller, Miss Hernandez and Miss Cooper for being our powerful PTA. They've had to do some crazy things this year because we haven't been able to have any volunteers come into the building. But these ladies are really powerful and they really keep our school going. And I can't wait until next October. I hope there's a carnival. What are the names of the modules now? Let's see if Tom and OA can get these answers right. He probably will. All right, so what are they now? The modules got changed over. Sometime Kathy Rulene, if anybody remembers Kathy Rulene, she was a second grade teacher. Oh, I did it again. She was a second grade teacher for us. And she had a husband. Okay. Her husband painted the 4 big pictures that were up in our modules. And that must have been in about, it was before I got there, wasn't it? I think so. So it must have been about 2004 when it got rechanged. If anybody has any other answers, go ahead, throw that in the chat if you know when that got changed. But it was in the early 2000s. And if you know it, go ahead and answer it and put it in the chat. All right, and now we're going to go to the next. This is one of my favoriteest students ever. Her name is Heather. And when she was in 5th grade, she was amazing. She sang Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday to You on Martin Luther King Assembly. It was fantastic. If you ever want to see her, she's a fantastic human being and fun to follow. Here she is. Take it over, Heather.
Hello, Oakbrook Eagles. It's your girl. It's Heather. I'm here to wish you a very happy 50th anniversary. That's amazing. You guys did it. You did it. Congrats. You made it. So I left Oakbrook 15 years ago. I went there from 3rd to 5th grade, and it was one of my first experiences in Lakewood after my family moved there when I was 8. And it was awesome. I feel like I just jumped right in, dove head first, and it was honestly fantastic. Some of my favorite memories from my childhood and from any school I've ever gone to have been from Mr. Selberg's 4-5 split class. It was honestly incredible. I feel like I would have missed out if I wasn't in that class. It really shaped that time in my life. It was really amazing. We used to go out on Friday afternoons and go play wall ball if it was sunny. I'm sorry if that wasn't allowed and I just threw you under the bus and got you in trouble, Mr. Selberg. That was not my intention. But it was just such a good time. I really looked forward to going to school there. I loved Mr. Henderson's PE classes. You know, I still remember yelling, Hendu extra, trying to do an extra lap, you know, trying to get the extra credit. I remember Miss Snap yelling at me. Well, she didn't yell, but you know, she had some words with me when I would show up late all the time, especially for crosswalk duty. I can't remember what it was called, but I absolutely loved it there. I remember the Eagle's Nest in the library. I loved sitting in that cool Eagle's Nest. That was super fun. I remember I did some improv class there. We had like a week where we did these really cool different classes. I absolutely love that school. I'm very, very thankful that I got to go there as a kid. And I'm so glad you guys have stuck around for 50 years. Keep going. You can do it. Happy 50th anniversary, and I will see you all later. Eagle, 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 pride. Bye.
Thanks, Heather. I'll have to tell her she did good. This next one, his name is Ben Conover, and this guy is a junior at Lakes right now, and hopefully he's not driving around when he's doing this video. He's not, I see it.
Hi everyone, my name is Ben Conover and I'm currently an 11th grader at Lakes High School. I went to Oakbrook Elementary from 2010 until 2015 and I really enjoyed my time there. I was Oakbrook's ASB Vice President from 4th to 5th grade and I had the opportunity to work with some of the most supportive and hardworking staff that I've ever met. One of my favorite memories from Oakbrook is definitely the field days, where we got to just go outside and have some fun with our friends and teachers. It was really one of the highlights of the year. Happy 50th anniversary, Oakbrook.
Isn't that nice? You know how scary it is for these guys to get up here and do a video for me? I had to beg. It took me 3 weeks to get Ben to do one. And here is our current ASB president, Emily Miller.
Hi Eagles, I'm Emily Miller, your ASB president, and I'm excited to say that this year is our 50th year anniversary. I love Oakbrook so much because all of the teachers are willing to help you with any questions you have. One of my favorite things to do at Oakbrook is playing with my friends at recess. I love going to the book fair every year, and I'm going to miss Oakbrook next year when I go to middle school.
She was quick, but she got her in too. So what are the names of the modules now? Who's got an answer for me? Do. Do. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody has a guess? Nobody knows? Oh, goodness gracious. It's been there for 20 years, for crying out loud. All right, here it goes. Well, if you're in the 4th, 5th grade module, you are in Mount Rainier. Does that bring any hints to you? How about Mount Baker, Mount Adams, or Mount St. Helens? They were renamed mountains because, like I said, Miss Ruline's husband was a painter and he was commissioned to paint us some mountains. And so that's when I don't know when it came. I wish Mr. Henderson was here to tell me, but somewhere in the early 2000s, they changed them to mountains. So here's Oakbrook over the years. As I'm clicking through here, I want to first thank Mr. Mulver. Mr. Mulver was on the planning committee of Oakbrook Elementary back in 1967. That was even before me or Mr. Banner was born. I just learned that Mr. Banner and I were the same age. Hey. Anyways, Mr. Mulver came by this morning and he handed me a nice little pamphlet, and there's going to be pieces of that in Oakbrook over the years. And what he was saying is that during their planning committee, they actually planned out the open concept where the teachers would team teach reading and team teach math. And like how Miss Truitt was saying, that you could go anywhere in the building to be during different math lessons. So back then it was very avant-garde. Ooh, big words. And it's very, that's why they use the open concept. And in between each one of the classrooms or in the modules, in the center of the module where there's nothing today, that's where the teachers used to all sit. so that they would sit there and when they were planning, they would be able to plan together and then take it out into their lands, into their own spaces to teach. So that was pretty cool too. Pretty neat information that I got to learn. And I hope I get to share any of that with you. Here is the very first visitor's guide to Oakbrook Elementary. My favorite part about all these pictures is some of these desks are still there. Here's the circles. Kids still jump rope, sit and talk in the sunshine. Oh, some of the very best field trips were down to the game farm. Here's the fish hatchery right here. And that's not even, like 4 blocks away from the school. But they used to take field trips down there all the time. Thank you, Kurt, for your vegetable program. I like to say this is the first Nintendo Switch. I don't know what that is, but it's like a viewfinder of some sort. Maybe one of the old school guys know what that is. And I'm telling you, these desks are still in Oakbrook today. These chairs aren't, though. Notice how they're really close together, too. I mean, these poor 3 children, they are right up close. They probably couldn't see the board. Oh, all right. So I asked Miss Coppas, who taught from, I think she taught from 1992 or 91. Wait, where it says right here, 1990. She taught from 1990 all the way till last year when she retired. I guess I will read it. She was hired to teach 6th grade. She taught 6th and 5th grade students before taking over the gifted in 2000. She taught the gifted until she retired in 2020. In the mid-90s, after 6th grade had been moved to the middle school, the teachers of the Saturn module, Miss Coppas, Miss Alds, Miss Swarner, and Mr. Osborne, hint, he's in the future too, we'll see him, decided to start a 5th grade play. And this was a response to one of the grade level expectations of performing and speaking in front of one another. This became a popular tradition and it still continues today. Sorry about that. That was nice of that. The teachers and the paras in the module, they all get together and they began to write the plays together. As teachers and paras left, the writing really fell to Janet. And she she would have Denise, and then later she would have, I know you can't see this because the stupid window's in the way, but she would have Courtney, Miss Thompson, and Miss Collins, and they would help her write, and they would help help with the choreography of the plays. And they do this at the end of each school year. Hello, there it is. And Miss Coppas always has a certain song in almost every single one of her plays. And this is just a side guess. If you know what that song is, go ahead and put it in chat. And I will give you a hip hip hooray. You don't get a game. But I want to just see if anybody knows what that song was. That's a good guess, Rainbow Connection, but that's not it. Can't Stop This Feeling. That's pretty good. Ain't No Mountain High Enough is not quite right. Wow. Miss Thompson, you don't know? Miss McDonald? Disappointment. Okay, I'll let it go. Has anybody ever heard of a little band called Heart? Anybody heard of a little band called Heart? All right, fine. I'll guess myself then. Barracuda. There it is. Aaron Peterson. Way to go. You got that just from the Heart question, didn't you? I know. All right, so here's some more pictures of the plays. They would all dress up and then they would all lip sync the songs. Hey, look back here. That's young Ben Conover, who just spoke in the thing a minute ago. And this is Haley Rustbolt. Haley hits the longest home runs you'll ever want to see. She's a star for Lakes Lancers. Yay, Haley. Oh, and this is Jada Yeater right here. You'll see her later. That's a good one too. I'll show you later. Vacation. All right. Now, for all you old schoolers, where was the original Eagle's Nest? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Who do you think's going to get this one right? OA, you are just on fire. Thank you for joining us. If you're an Oakbrook kid, feel free to put your name in the chat and tell me where the original Eagle's Nest was. I'll tell you what, Peterson and OA have already given you the answer, so it won't be too hard to figure out. Ready? Here comes the answer. No, it's not as a picture. Look at that. Now, I heard that this thing over here on the left, which looks like the Space Needle, might have been called the Eagle's Nest. I've heard from other people that said this thing was the Eagle's Nest. So I don't know which one is true, but I do know the Eagle's Nest was originally on the playground. And I found a picture of this one and this one. So hopefully one of those two is the Eagle's Nest. And I'm probably wrong. The one on the right. Thanks, Tom. Phew. Hey, Elena, you got the playground. Woo woo. Michael loved that thing on the left, on the right. Okay. Oops, I've clicked the wrong thing. Where was the original Eagle's Nest? On the playground. It's so fun to just look at the kids were all climbing all over that thing. What is this one on the wall? It looks like a little wall. And they also used to have one of those merry-go-rounds on it. I was on the Oakbrook 70s and 80s group, and they had a long conversation about that merry-go-round of death, they called it. That's why it's no longer on the playground. Now we're going to look at all sorts of different pictures of newspaper clippings and just random things that I found in all the I didn't find them. My team, sorry team, our team found in the scrapbooks. If you take a look, we got Dixie Lee Ray. She was a governor back in the 70s. Oh, this was a Oakbrook first graders. They used to do the hula. And I'll tell you something, my wife is right here. What? My future. And here's some more. See, look at, they had a feast. They got to taste the taste of Hawaii. I wonder if they had poi. Oh, they did. My wife just called down from upstairs. Yes, they did have poi. It was just as disgusting as it is now. I mean, I love poi. Oh, and here's another little article. We got to go through the Suburban Times, and the fun part about the I want to thank, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the Suburban Times guy. What's the Suburban Times guy's name? Oh, Ben Sclair. Thank you, Ben. Oh, here she is, Jada. Jada was a free throw champion of her age bracket in the whole United States. Not just not just Pierce County, not just Lakewood, not just Clover Park, not just Washington, not just the western side of the whole United States. She was a champion. Shot 85%. Way to go, kid. And here's a letter for the gifted program. Look at back in 1978, they started talking about the gifted program. And here's a little letter. Oh, back in, I think it's the next thing that's coming up. Yep. 1776 to 1976. I wish I would have saved that. I would have scanned the inside. I'm sorry, I did not scan the inside of this, but Jennifer Truitt, your name was in here. I wonder if these other guys, Tom, were you in this play? I don't know. Does anybody else remember this play? Yep. Oh, OA, you asked if your original nickname was the All-Stars. It was. My wife confirmed that too. And it didn't get changed until the mid 80s, is what I hear. And this is a project that Miss Truitt did for us. All the kids in Oakbrook got a feather and then she put it together. Isn't that lovely? Thought she did a wonderful job. Thank you, Miss Truitt. All right. If you've been paying attention, you'll know who has been at Oakbrook the longest. Go ahead and throw it in chat if you were paying attention, and make sure you put your kid's name so they can win a prize. Ooh, way to go, Lynch. Miss Lynch and her child. Which one of them did it, Miss Lynch? Was it Samira or was it Malia? Very good. Oh, it was Samira with the win. Woo woo. Very good, Meadow and Rose. You were right there. You're so close. Let's see. Let's see a couple things. Look at this. Here's another Suburban Times thing. This might have been the year that Mr. Henderson won Teacher of the Year for Clover Park School District. There he is. And these were two of his favorite little children's, their brother and sister. And here he was doing the mile run. He's been doing the mile run since this year. And I can't remember what year this one was. I wish he was here that he could tell us. I don't know the answer. And the answer is Ted Henderson. Way to go, Samira. All right, this is what I was talking to you guys about earlier with Mr. Mulver. All about the team teaching. Oh, and here's another testimonial from Mr. Osborne. Look at Mr. Osborne. He had hair. He had fond memories of Oakbrook Elementary. Oakbrook was where he began teaching way back in 1997. He fondly remembers the many great student and staff members that he had the privilege of interacting with during his 4.5 years here. He remembers performing the plays in the library, running the laps out on the field, frying squid in one of the classrooms. And he could recall many creative, innovative learning projects that he was able to witness and take part in due to the many talented students and teachers at Oakbrook. Although he hasn't been here, he's always been an Eagle. Eagle, 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 pride. All right, this was from Mr. Mulver. Thank you again. I think I saw his name here earlier. These are the notes that he had taken and that he shared with me. Opening the new housing development in Oakbrook, land was set aside for the new elementary school. At the time, Ken was the principal, at Hillside Elementary on Fort Lewis. And Mr. Mulver was a 6th grade teacher. Through the process was started during 67, 68. Ken was appointed to be the first principal at Oakbrook Elementary, and the new concept was to have an open concept school, which meant no walls and team teaching. He was on the original planning committee with Ken, along with other teachers who were added to help plan the layout of the building and build a new teaching process. So we could thank Mr. Mulver for our no walls. Just teasing. And this is a picture of us now. Look at masks forever, huh? Thank you, my great team. I want to thank Miss McDonald and Miss Ming and Miss Boyd for helping me. I would like to thank Mr. Miller and Miss Albrecht from Community Relations for helping me put this together, helping us put this together. Sorry about the me's. And that's, I believe, the last slide, I think. And I really appreciate y'all coming, and sorry you had to listen to me talk so much.
Okay, and I want to come back around. Thank you so much, Mr. Selberg. We're going to give you hands in the air, and thank you for narrating and sharing all of those great memories. You are a funny, funny man. He's right outside of my office. He keeps me laughing. And I want to say that I just want to pause and thank everyone who brought words, the kids that chimed in to share their stories and their fond memories, and just having conversations with people that we typically wouldn't talk to, but we learn so much from about their personal journeys. I think it's a testament when you can say that we have this many people that grew up in the community, that grew up in the Clover Park School District, that have been a part of the Oakbrook family from not only their teaching careers, but all through growing up their whole lives, and still are here to this day. I am a product of the Clover Park School District as well. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to give back to the community that we grew up in. And it really, truly is such a family here. I want to thank the team that worked with Mr. Selberg in pulling things together. I want to really thank, again, Community Relations and our Publications Department for their help. So much has evolved over 50 years. It's hard to capture. It's hard to have a real party. I'm a feeder, so I would have loved to have a big dinner with everybody and to rub elbows and to really just have a big party in person. And we are vowed to do that when we can safely do that again. 50 years ago, this place was built, and it has been home to probably, we're estimating 14 to 15,000 students and their families over the course of the years who have been successful graduates of the Clover Park School District after their humble beginnings here at Oakbrook Elementary School. Some things have changed and some things have stayed the same, as you heard from Director Jacobs. There's still no walls here separating our classrooms, and we think it adds to how close we are. You have heard the words over and over again that we are a family here at Oakbrook, and we are a family here at Oakbrook, but we're an extended family. It's not just staff, it's not just students, it's family, it's the community. It is everybody locking arms with us to provide things that we have never been able to provide before. This is a new way of schooling this year. And I cannot thank enough the families that have come together that have helped us to educate and partner with us to educate their own students. Again, 14 to 15,000 students and their families and their extended families that have been positively impacted by this school and the people therein. We're going to continue the tradition of making this a great place to learn, a great place to live, a great place to thrive, because like our superintendent banner always tells us every Friday, we are better together. And we thank you so much for coming out on this sunshiny day. We know how rare they are. Those that have come out to listen, to share in our great rich history. We will have a real party as soon as Superintendent Banner tells us that we can, and that we can come together and just have a big party. We want to do that because this has been a pillar as Director Jacobs said, in our community, the center hub in the wheel. So we thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're not going to hold you for one more minute. Again, Mr. Selberg, thank you. Superintendent Banner, thank you for coming out. Board of Directors Jacobs and Pearson, thank you so much for your words this evening. We thank you for being with us here tonight. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you soon.